I love the community. Everybody has so much in common because we're all in love with this one great thing that ties us together, and I think it's the most amazing thing. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke if you're new here, and if you're not new here, you already know me. So today I'm going to be doing the Wildest Author Dreams tag. Basically, people just go through and talk about things they want as an author or as a writer that aren't necessarily goals. Some of them might be goals, but some of them might just be wildest author dreams. I have my little notebook. I just made this for my video ideas. I put all these cute little tabs on here, and I actually love it. I feel like it has just inspired me to think of so many video ideas. So I have all of mine written down here. It's probably not all of them actually. I think there are quite a few that I'm not thinking of, and these have been, some of them I've thought about since I was a little kid, and some of them I've only recently started thinking about when I started Authortube. So I'm just gonna find them. I think there's about 25 in here. It's pretty crazy. So I'm gonna start with these are in no order. I do want to say that this tag was created by Lindsay Puckett. I was not tagged by anybody, but I just really wanted to do it. So number one, this is one that I didn't really think of until I started reading A Court of Thorns and Roses and really getting into like fan art and stuff. I don't draw fan art, but I look at it because it just helps you get a sense of like what the characters look like. I literally have some fan art of Asriel as my phone background, so I love him. Okay, so number one is to have someone make fan art of my characters. I just think that that is the coolest thing ever, to have someone love your books enough to make fan art of your characters. How awesome would that be? Like, that's when I know that I've made it. That's incredible. Number two is to publish a fantasy trilogy / series. So I'm currently working on is a loose term. I'm currently working on a fantasy novel. I don't think it's going to be a series, but I honestly have not fleshed out enough to even know what's going on with it. So that could potentially be a series for me, but who knows? But that is a goal eventually. I want to publish a fantasy, probably trilogy, I think, because trilogy seems very like manageable. And that's not necessarily like a wildest dream. It seems wild right now because I'm not published, but number three is to traditionally publish my first book. So the book I'm working on right now, it's called Worst Ways to Love. It is a romance. I would say it's probably like adult. It's not YA. I'm hoping to have that traditionally published. So number four is something that I thought about doing since I could read. Basically, that's a little bit of an exaggeration, but it's to have a book signing for one of my books, or for all my books, whatever. I think that that would be the coolest thing. Like, people lining up to be like, you're amazing, I want you to sign my book. That's like worth something to me. I think that's the coolest thing ever. On a side note, I just got my very first signed book today. I didn't get it at a book signing, but I got it in the mail from Chapters. It is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I have not figured out if I'm going to take this sticker off yet. I'm kind of scared, but it was signed by Sarah J. Maas, and I am obsessed. Her signature is like the messiest thing I've ever seen, but it's very cool. I'm so just like overwhelmed with excitement. And I just have this nice space for it right here beside Crescent City. Number five is to be a full-time author. So basically my goal, see, again, this one isn't so much of a dream. Like, this is definitely a thing. My goal is to eventually be able to sustain my life on writing. Number six is to have an author website. I know lots of Authortubers have author websites. Currently I have a blog that is not my author website, so I'm hoping to convert that eventually, but the domain name right now like doesn't work. It's a different domain name. So number seven is to be on the New York Times bestseller list. Since I've been on Booktube and Authortube, I know that there's a lot of controversy surrounding this, so that's why it's like a wildest dreams thing. I'm not really gonna get into that right now, but that's something that I've thought about ever since I was a kid. Number eight, so number 8 and number 12 kind of go together. So I would love to like speak at schools and just be able to like mentor people in writing and help people develop their creativity, because I feel like I didn't have enough of that as a kid. I don't think that there's enough of that available. I don't think there ever can be enough of that available. Like, there's never going to be an amount of that that's too much. And I think that the best thing that you can do for young writers is to tell them that, like, yes, this is a realistic thing to want, because as like when I started getting into high school, I was like, this isn't realistic to want to be like a writer, like, and I gave it up while I was in university, and that was such a big mistake, honestly. Number 9 is to have an office with a writing desk and a decked out like office. So I want to have a bigger desk. My desk right now is pretty small. I would love to have a bigger one, and just to have like an office with like bookshelves and like a chair or like a couch, and like, I don't know, I just think it'd be really cool. Number 10, this is kind of a weird one. This is totally like an outlandish dream, to have people naming their kids after my characters. So like, I mean, you can bet that people were naming their kids after Harry Potter characters. People were naming their pets after Harry Potter characters. Like, I want that kind of obsession from my fans. I don't have a single fan right now, but I want it. Number 11 is to have a movie adaptation of my book, or a TV show, whatever. But if it was a TV show, I would love it to be on the CW network. I think that's just like the king of, especially if it's like fantasy, right? So number 12 was like to create some kind of like program for young writers, which kind of goes hand in hand with the school speaking like mentorship thing. Number 13 is to go on a book tour. This is something that I have thought about probably since I knew what a book tour was. And I know that book tours aren't really that much of a thing anymore. Like, you don't hear about them as much. And I mean, I don't even know, like, when I get to a point where I could actually go on a book tour, I don't even know if book tours are going to be a thing anymore. So, number 14, to go to Chapters and see my books on the shelves. Sarah LeBrat talked about this in hers, and she said that she'd like to bring a pen and sign them, and I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. And she was like, it's okay if you don't get caught. And I honestly think that that's awesome. It's just so cool. Number 15 is, so I'm pretty sure I heard a couple other people talk about this, but it is to go abroad and write for an extended period of time. So I mean, kind of just to escape the real world, to put it, you know, weirdly, and just go somewhere and write an entire book. So like, go to like Rome, or go to like New Zealand or somewhere in the UK and just complete a manuscript. Like, I think I would be so inspired if I got to do that, and I just can't even imagine it. Just like waking up and like going for a walk on the beach, and I mean, not having to deal with snow. You know what? I wouldn't even mind that. Like, to go to the mountains and write, to stay at like a ski lodge or something for like a while. Anyways, 16 is to go on a writing retreat to network and meet other writers. So I am participating in the Authortube virtual writing retreats this year, and I would love to do that in person and meet a bunch of people. And I would love to meet so many Authortubers. I think it would be the coolest thing. I love the community. Everybody has so much in common, because we're all in love with this one great thing that ties us together, and I think it's the most amazing thing. Number 17 is to write a novel with another person. So I've heard of people, I don't know what they call it, maybe like co-writing or something, but to collaborate on a novel, and I think that that's amazing. Number 18, this is not really an author goal, but I want to visit Powell's bookstore in Oregon, I believe. It's this humongous bookstore. If you're from the States, you've probably heard of it or been there, but I'm not from the States, and I've never been so sad about it in my entire life. Number 19, this is something that I've talked about for years and years and years, since I was a kid, and it is to own like a coffee shop slash bookstore slash like writers hangout. And I just think that that would be the coolest thing. And like, specifically a bookshop that's like kind of like nichey, and you get like really creative people to come, and the coffee's super good, and like, I guess like what we used to call like hipster. I don't know, people don't say that anymore. That was like such a thing when I was younger. People don't say that anymore. Also, if I ever own a coffee shop, slash bookstore slash whatever, I want the ceiling to be glass. And I know that sounds super weird, but like I would love to like have this is totally from Sims, by the way, Sims 4, you can have glass ceiling in your houses, but to have the sun come in and just like an atrium almost, or like a sunroom kind of thing, I just think it would be so cool. Number 20 is to start my own book subscription box. So I feel like that would be such a cool business to do. Obviously you have such harsh competition with like Owlcrate, Fairy Loot, there's like the Wizarding World one. It'd be so hard to make it, but so cool. And then related to that, number 21 is to have my own book in a subscription box. So I think that would be pretty cool. Number 22 is Bookcon. This is something that I hadn't really ever heard of until I joined this community, and I think it sounds amazing. Oh, and the last one, number 23, is to do a book giveaway on my channel or on my Instagram of my books, which is totally doable. I just don't have a book yet. That is it from my author Wildest Dreams. I do not have anyone to tag, but feel free to tag yourself. I'm gonna leave some information about it down below. Comment telling me one of your wildest author dreams, because I love hearing other people's. Everybody's so creative and everybody has these awesome ideas that I've never even thought of, and I would love to expand my list. So if you like the video, please subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!